Good evening. This is Bonkers Busway Cams News, and I am your host Sam.
On March 21, Councillor Elisa Meschini, chair of the Greater Cambridgeshire Partnership and deputy leader of the Cambridgeshire County Council, proposed a road for buses with an off-road alignment that would necessitate the felling of hundreds of fruit trees in Coton, home to the county's largest traditional orchard. The leader of the County Council, Councillor Lucy, cited the UN IPCC report published the day before as the justification.
The UN report yesterday emphasised yet again just how urgent it is that we take steps to decarbonise our economy, and high-quality public transport is a critical part of decarbonising transport in our areas.
Saying the scheme was necessary in order to help move Cambridge towards decarbonisation and a net zero economy. The news of trees being felled for Cambridge's green bus route to tackle climate change was reported widely,
provoking national outrage and international ridicule, particularly from the scientific community.
Next Tuesday, May 16, a motion will come in front of councillors, asking them to impartially compare the off-road route with a far less costly on-road alternative worked up by conservation charity, Cambridge Past, Present and Future. Ahead of the council meeting, we take a look at the carbon math.
Joining me is Claire, an expert in carbon emissions calculations. Thank you for coming into the studio this evening. So Claire, does the C2C Busway, with the off-road dogleg through the Green Corridor, really help move Cambridge towards carbon net zero targets?
Good evening, Sam. Yes, I've taken a look at the draft report. It is incomplete, and the methodology used is not quite correct for what is essentially a road building project, but as it is what the councillors used to base their decision on, they will suffice for our review. To simplify, when we say carbon, we mean tons of carbon dioxide or equivalent, a common metric used to compare emissions of greenhouse gases. The EIA report calculates infrastructure or embodied carbon to be 49,000 tons.
Embodied carbon?
That just means what's produced during construction of the Busway and M11 bridge, its operation, maintenance, and end of life, which they put at 60 years. The impact of vegetation loss required for the construction of the scheme, and the release of carbon from excavating 211,000 tons of previously undisturbed soil, is still to be confirmed.
Wait, digging up soil releases carbon?
Yes, carbon is stored or sequestered in soil, a process in which carbon dioxide is removed from the atmosphere by plants through photosynthesis. For a simple explanation, take a look at Neon Science's video on YouTube digging up dirt on soil carbon.
Roughly 50% of soil is actually carbon that, if decomposed, will create carbon dioxide. Along with carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, and sulfur are also stored in soil organic matter and are eventually released to be made available for plants to take up when soil is decomposed. In a healthy, undisturbed, or mature ecosystem, there is a general balance of CO2 uptake by plants and the CO2 created in soils from decomposition. This is called a steady state. However, the degradation of many ecosystems through climate change, land usage, agricultural practices, and other human activity and disturbance has led to the decreased ability of soils to store carbon compared to the increasing CO2 that is released by our ecosystems. In this case, the steady state is
healthy soil, like that found in Coton Orchard, is a particularly good carbon sink.
So they haven't worked out what that impact is?
No, but to be fair, it's a complex calculation.
What about the carbon reduction?
The report estimates a total, possible, reduction of carbon over 60 years to be 34,205 tons. That's not removing atmospheric carbon but adding less by people switching from car to bus use or walking and cycling more.
So the busway, as proposed, with an off-road section, will add at least 14,000 tons of carbon. And the impact of losing vegetation that removes carbon and soil that stores it hasn't been worked out?
Crudely calculated, but yes. Rather than reduce carbon, GCP's preferred route adds to it, even without including vegetation loss. Construction accounts for 39% of global energy-related emissions.
That's bonkers. How does it compare to the on-road alternative?
That's not been worked out yet, But not building a motorway bridge will already mean a significant reduction of embedded carbon, with the added benefit of sparing wildlife habitats along the Green Corridor, and saving millions of pounds that could be much better spent.